afternoon, everybody. Yes, it's afternoon for a change. We're starting late today. What you're looking at is the engine from my Huoniao HN125, which we need to change the head on. This is the head, which was 75 quid, something like that. All I'm doing at the minute is just eyeballing it, just to make sure that it is correct before I actually commit to opening it. To be honest with you, it does appear to be the right one, which is nice. It's obviously got no valves in it whatsoever. We're obviously going to try and transfer all the valves and springs and everything from the old one to the new one. So this new head don't get damaged, I'm going to pop this back into the house. Then we'll get some spanners out and get into stripping this top end off. Back soon. Right, what do we need? 10mm. Never taken one of these apart in my life. So we're on a voyage of discovery together. I believe it's a pushrod engine, which in theory should be slightly easier to work on than the overhead cam, such as the Kimco had in it. It's not ideal on here, honestly, to be honest. It's quite precariously balanced, and if this falls off, I will be a smidge pissed off. Now there's a bolt in the end here, which I think is probably the bolt count for the valve train gear, the rockers. But we'll find out soon enough when we get in there. Quite irritating, tearing apart and replacing a big chunk of an engine which mechanically has got nothing wrong with it. It's just we've pulled this head stud out, so and we've also broken off the studs for the well, they call it an EGR. It's not an EGR, is it? Air valve thingy, jiggy-me, what do you call it, thing-me bob, you know what I mean. So it's toast. Take that spark plug out really, but I can't be arsed. Right, what do we have inside? What's in box number 1? If the screw ever comes out, we'll find out. Rubber hammer. Come on then, what am I missing? Do we have to take the valve train off first, do you think? Whee, there we go. No, it's not a bolt for the valve train. I don't know what that is. It can't be an oil feed, can it? Anyway, there we have it. I suppose really we ought to set it at top dead centre, hadn't we? It would be a sensible thing to do. So we are going to let's pull you back a bit so we can get more of you in. So what I'm going to do now is whip this cover off. This will enable me to get at the crank bolt to rotate the engine. And I know it is because we've had this off before. When we did the stator. There you go. That one's just pulled right through. Is that broke? Shouldn't be able to. Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's broke. Not a biggie. Not a biggie. We can, what do you call it, we can get the old bodge potion on that, stick it back on. So let's bag that up. Bodge potion in JB Weld. Okay, right, pop that in my box of goodies. Now, is that 15mm maybe? Or 14 on a big flat screwdriver as well. I can see that going arse of a shite before we're finished. So I'm taking that out because I'm assuming that that's where you view in order to get top dead centre. So let me just figure out what top dead centre is, and then I'll be able to tell you guys. I can't see a fucking thing. Let me go and get my glasses. Just a sec. That's better. I can see what I'm doing now. Okay. Right. So, let you have a look inside. I don't know if this is going to come out on camera, but we'll try it. So, inside that hole, you can see we've lined up the T mark with the little line, top dead centre, and just to confirm, there is a little bit of slap in those valves, confirming that they're both fully closed. What am I on about? Closed. I've just noticed, so in all, you can't disassemble this rocker assembly because they've actually welded the nuts over. Not sure why they would do that, but they have, so there you go. We just take it all off as one assembly. So yeah, this is a push rod engine as suspected. So just there, zoom you in. So those things there are the push rods which operate these tappets, and the cam that operates those push rods is down here. On the Kimco, the cam didn't have push rods. The cam was up here and acted directly on the valves, so that is overhead cam. This isn't, obviously, because the cam isn't down there. Right then, let's carry on. I can't profess to be an expert on here, so if you are here looking for someone to make a prat of themselves, you're in the right place. If you're looking to learn how to do this properly, go back onto YouTube and find someone who knows what they're doing. What's in here? assuming that that's the... that is probably the cam in there, I'm thinking. Right. Now then. What's next? Let us take this valve train off. I think that would be the next good point to arrive at. 12mm maybe? So yeah, the point of putting it in top dead centre means that the pressure is off these valves basically, so we can take it apart without it padoinging everywhere. And what's probably going to happen is when I undo these, I'm going to knock the engine off. In fact, let me go and grab my impact. Right, where was I? 12mm, I think it said. 12mm. That's better. Right, so there's copper washers on there, which we need to be very careful of. Good. And then that valve train all comes off in one piece. There we go. Back that up. I'm also going to so little room here. I'm also going to make sure that the push rods go back into the same orifices, if you like, that they come out of. So that one's input, intake. Not sure how important that is, but belt and braces, that's what we're going to do. So bag that up separately. I always keep loads of these food bags about for bagging up bits and pieces like this. That one's intake. Bag that completely separately to everything else. Do one for exhaust, although if one's marked intake, the other one's obviously going to be exhaust on it, but just in case one falls out. So there we go. We've marked that one exhaust. And get another bag for the valve train, just to keep it clean and out of all the shit and grit. Okay, well I think we're ready to pull the head off. That's a problem, that don't fit. Socket's too wide, so we're going to have to do that with a breaker bar. And we can't do it with a breaker bar while it's up on here, I don't think, because that's going to pull it off. Okay, I'm going to get that down on the floor, I think, to crack the head bolts. Let me just turn you off and we'll put you back on when we're there. Right, what I'm about to do now, I don't recommend you do if you value your tools, and that is I'm going to use a non-impact socket in an impact gun. The only reason being, the impact sockets I've got are too big. Oh, I've got some smaller ones here. What are these? 11, 13, 14, I've got every fucking size. 12. 12, well that would fit. Oh yes, I don't need to do that. I've got a thinner gauge impact socket. So yeah, luckily I've got a smaller, thinner wall impact socket. So hopefully this should get them out. Right, we need to get that one. I don't think I can get into that. No, hang on, have I got a small extension? Right, it's going well. This is going very well. You watch some fucking thing go wrong. So, head bolts. Ah, that's not so good. That one's pulled the stud out. I don't think it's a biggie as long as the threads have survived. And if the threads haven't survived, we're getting into the world of helicoiling, which I don't particularly want to. Oh yeah, that one there pulled the entire stud out. Threads look fine, so hopefully we're not going to have an issue. Now, let's see if we can free it of its head. Off with his head, as Henry VIII said. I'm a bit concerned about this bolt because I'm not entirely sure what it's for, but I can't get the head off without removing it, so we will Google later. And there we go, one head removed. Just trying to free that copper washer. There we go. Good, good. Pop that down there. And I'm just going to rotate that rotate the engine, because with this far in we may as well take a look at the bore. Okay, there is a very, very, very slight ridge at the top. Right guys, apologies, but my camera died. That's why it cut off suddenly. The battery died on it, and yeah, you didn't miss a lot anyway. What have I done? We were going to have a look in this bore, weren't we? We're losing light actually, but I don't know if you can see that, but it's got a slight ridge to the top. Not outrageous. I'm not going to do anything about it. That's absolutely fine. Got that stud back in that pulled out. That's gone in just fine. No damaged threads or anything, so that's all good. What else? I'm going to end the video here, and I shall tell you for why. I've just been online looking up the torque settings and the valve clearances for when I put this back together, and I cannot find them anywhere. Absolutely nowhere on the internet do they seem to exist, not through my searching anyway. What is available on eBay is a Haynes Chinese motorcycle manual. It seems a little bit generic, but it does list a Huoniao HN125 on the back of it. So I'm going to grab that, and hopefully that will give me all the torque specs and everything that I need, and probably some further help that I might come along the way as we progress through it. I've got to strip this head down, get all the valves out of it. The valves look pretty good from the outside, to be honest with you. Not a big issue there. So yeah, we're going to end this one here, and we will move on with it as and when we've got the information we need. So hope you're enjoying this one guys. Again, I am, so we'll catch you when we continue. Cheers, bye bye.